Hey guys, how's it going? I'm sorry if you guys hear the fan in the background. I'm letting the room air out. I have so much technology, so much hardware in my room. I need to let it air out before it overheats. I do this every once a month, so if the fan is too loud, then I'll cut the fan off when I do my next review. I just got to hear this when I'm editing it. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. The film 1917 is a 2019 British war film that is produced and directed by Sam Mendes. Now, interesting enough, this is just not a war film, but this is actually based on true events of Sam Mendes' grandfather that told him stories when he was serving World War I. During World War I, two British soldiers received seemingly impossible orders. In a race against time, they must cross over enemy territory to deliver a message that could potentially save 1,600 of their fellow comrades, including Blake's own brother. I love war films, especially war films that is based on real events and true story. I have never heard about this story. I have never heard about this growing up, or even just in recent memory, because my grandfather, before he died, he was actually a war veteran. He was used to be in the army, and he used to always tell me stories. Always used to tell me stories how he almost got killed, how him and his comrade used to never get along, but then they went through a traumatic phase of life and death, and they had to save each other, and they ended up becoming best friends. I love hearing things like this, especially when it comes to stuff that I can gravitate to. And then hearing about this, hearing about 1917, and hearing about Sam Mendes' grandfather's story, I have to say that this movie is phenomenal. I love it, and the movie is actually pretty simple. It's just they receive a message saying that they are gonna fall into the hands, fall into the mercy, into the enemy hands. So they have to make it across all the gunfire, all the war and destruction, and they don't want to do that because they thought they was getting like simple orders, but no, like they have to make it across enemy territory before dawn. Otherwise, their soldiers is going to walk into a big trap that is going to cost millions of lives. And what pushes this is that one of them is one of the comrades' own brother that might get killed off, and that motivates him to want to do this. He's like, look, I gotta do this, and it pulls you in immediately, and not just because it's a war film, but because here's the thing that war films fail to do, is that when you pop in a war film, guns blazing, war destruction, all that. But what makes me love a war film is that it has a lot of good chemistry and a lot of good dialogue for the characters. And the chances of them surviving is very slim. I love that scenario of me being on the edge of my seat and me being intertwined with the characters. Like, are they going to live? Are they going to die? And I felt like this watching the film from start to finish. And another thing I have to give good praise about is the screenplay. This movie rarely jumps to scene. As soon as the movie starts, within an hour and 20 minutes, it goes to another scene. It goes to straight acting without skipping any scenes. And that is freaking, like, I don't even know what to put it. Like, that is effort. Like, that is bold acting. Like, that, oh my God. Like, they deserve an award for that. Because normally with movies that has good acting, has good cinematography, they have to go to, I have to take my glasses off because I'm still impressed. Like, that was very fucking impressive. I watched this twice just to see if I was missing anything, and I was correct. Like, as soon as the movie starts, the camera is shot throughout the start, throughout the middle of the film. After that, it goes black, and then it shows another scene because they need a fucking break. They walk through destruction, gunfire, death, and like no scene is skipped. Everything that they show within the hour and 10 mark is 100% accurate. There's not one scene in that marker that skips. And there's like the acting is well put, well crafted, and well deserved an Oscar. And I'm like, man, like that is pretty creatively impressive. As for the acting is phenomenal. It's very good acting in this film. Like, I was pulled in with each of the characters, even Benedict Cumberbatch's character. Like, Benedict Cumberbatch's character, they don't show much of him, but they give you small detail of how his character is. And I like that because with movies like this, the way for me to get pulled in by a character, I need to know what I'm going to get myself into. And they give me little dialogue to expect, because when one of the soldiers is trying to deliver this message, he gets in contact with one of the other lieutenants, and they tell him, look, if you're going to deliver this message to the general, make sure that there's a witness. And he's like, why? Like, it's orders. And he tells him, I understand that, but just, some people just want to just fight. Some people just want a war to happen. And seeing Benedict Cumberbatch's character, which is the lieutenant that he's trying to get the message to, even though he didn't do much in the film, his presence, his looks shows that he just wants destruction. He just wants blood. He just wants things to be in his way of just violence. And when I seen this character, I'm like, whoa. I'm like, holy shit. So of course he tried to play hard to get, but at the same time, by me hearing that part, and that's the one thing about the film, you need to pay attention. This movie, you look on some Quiet Place type shit. Do not fucking talk. Movies like this, watch with people that is willing to love and have passion for movies just as much as you do, to the point where they will only talk when it's necessary, or watch it by yourself. And that's what I did. I watched it by myself twice, and I love the character development of this film from start to finish. Like I said, the screenplay was great, like the dialogue was perfect, and I just love the fact that even the ending of the film pulled me in, and it was dramatic. The movie has now. Let me just explain this right now. People don't really talk about this film because they don't really show a lot of action. They don't really show a lot of gunplay. That's because this film is only focused on the tension and the acting. This film is based on true events. This movie actually happened. So be prepared for good chemistry of the dialogue of the characters. Be prepared for the tension. And there was a lot of tension. And I loved it, especially with some of the scenes that they showed. Like, they actually showed some great camera shots of the film that it was hard for me to turn away from. Even with the death scenes, like, I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, there are times where I've seen like some scenes on the movie where you would think there'll be rocks, like, just certain mud that they'll walk towards, but no, they're actually dead bodies. And it kind of traumatized me in a way to be like, man, like, is this how it is in the army, where dead bodies be out there for days, for months, and unretrievable bodies and stuff, and they look so identical, to the floor, to the point where you be like, man, like, it discourages you, And a lot of war films don't do this. They just be more focused on the artillery and, and the scenery of them using the artillery and the deaths. That's it. They really don't really pay attention to what's out there in the open. And with 1917, they have to be focused on that because they're out in the open trying to deliver this message. And it was very good. I don't really have any problems with this film at all. This is a film that's worth watching, and worth watching multiple times. Each time I watched this film, I was noticing more good things that's mentioned, and it's a good sign for me. I'm gonna have to give 1917 an A. I could have given it an A+, but it's subjective. This is a movie that not a lot of people will like, and some people may enjoy. The reason why I enjoy it is because, by me being a critic, movies like this is basically for people who can recognize good talent of acting, can recognize good chemistry of the development cycle of what this film is trying to be, and they like documentaries and true stories. If you're not into that type of stuff, then this movie is not for you. I feel as if you want a gun-blazing film, if you want a war film, like an actual war film that shows a lot of gore, a lot of destruction, then turn away from this. But if you are like me, if you have an open mind of just trying to give movies a chance of being more than just a cheap adaptation, and they focus on the real aspects of what happened in real times like this, then please check out 1917. And if you haven't watched it till now, then you can thank me for recommending it to you. Well, that's all I have to say for today. Please stay tuned for more upcoming reviews and videos headed your way. This is your I've been off for a while. Okay, I've been streaming videos. So you guys have a good day. Okay, next time I'll say it better.